yesterday, so it's wonderful to see you. I heard you had a very successful day yesterday, so I'm hoping that today will be equally successful. Even though I don't know how you did it yesterday, but I'll do my best to try and facilitate it as well as I can. But I think that I won't say that much to begin with, because I think all of you were here yesterday, so you know the drill. But I think I will just pass the word to Aida, I'm guessing, or Christina. I'm guessing you two will, I don't know which one of you will present.
Well, maybe I'll start and I'll pass the floor to Aida.
Perfect. I'll let you know when you're sort of nearing 10 minutes. Okay.
I don't know. Aida, do you have the presentation?
I share
it. Thank you.
Can you see it?
Not yet. Just a minute.
Not yet. I think it will. There you go.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah, that's fine. Thank you, Aida. So, well, just to start with, just to give you a big picture of the overview of our grounding actions. We are focusing on 9 grounding actions, which are divided into the governance, the gender equality, research ethics and integrity, and open access. And our strategy has been based mainly in developing this holistic approach of the RRI framework towards having this institutional change through the governance actions, and particularly setting up all the framework to give an overview on our funding programs, and then also developing some initiatives and activities which are more horizontal, which has given us this interaction with the stakeholders in the region, and also positions AGAUR as a key player in the implementation of the RRI. So now I pass the floor to Aida, who will give you the details of where we are and all the work which she has really worked hard to develop. Thank you, Aida.
So related to the governance grounding action, we have to say that it's the key grounding action that sets the framework for the other policy agendas for us. Also, we have been mainly focused in including RRI in our funding programs, and also to lay the foundations for future institutional changes such as the gender equality plan, the data management plan, and so on. And also we have focused in embedding from the very beginning the governance within the policies and initiatives of AGAUR. I mean, we have the window of opportunities with the new director, that he settles down a new project of defining the mission, vision, and values of AGAUR with a co-creation process. I mean, it came out with an RRI. It was totally RRI. So we embedded the grades with this initiative. And I think it was quite successful to implement all the measures that I'm going to explain now. We already created an internal working group that has been working quite well. Also an advisory board. It has been more people than it was expected, really committed. They have been helping us in the technical and operational context of the calls. For instance, the ones from Open Access, they have also proposed us a text for our legal document calls, which has been quite useful. And some of them are also advising the government in some of the issues that it helped us to be more aligned with the government policies. Regarding the RRI structure, we are going to create like an RRI team that is going to be working in all these measures once the GRACE project finishes. And 3 people from the internal working group has already shown the interest to be part of it. So in relation with to the document to set the RRI framework, I have to say that in that sense, we are on delay. It was expected for January, but it's taken us more time because the working is quite tedious in that sense. Because we were really ambitious and really optimistic. We have been developing the RRI governance framework, the ethics guidelines, the gender guidelines, and the open access guidelines all at the same time, because it was much more easy for us and it was more coherent to have all these frameworks to settle down these foundations of implementing RRI in the house. And also we have tackled all these guidelines in all the phases. We include how we're going to include in the call text, in the forms, in the evaluations, in the grant agreement, in the reports, and in the KPIs. This is taking a lot of time because it's quite tedious and a lot of different things to take into account. I have to say that in the first document, grounding actions document that Luciano wrote, the different policy agendas, the different guidelines were going to be settled down in different timings. So some of them are going to be ready for June and July. We thought we were going to do it in advance. So now I have to say that Luciano was right. So now we're going to be on the very beginning schedule. But Tina is also with us, and we hope to finish them before the summer break, that for us is August. But all of them are quite advanced and the measures are already there. But I have to say that despite you haven't really implemented these the guidelines are not ready yet. I mean, some of the measures have already been implemented in our calls in the 2020 and 2021 calls have been already implemented. What is expected, the beginning was expected to be implemented after the guidelines. So and now everything is being done at the same time. But it's also true that those people have been part of these working groups. So as being part of the working groups where they have to, to write to think about the new calls, they just were thinking about these new measures. And now we have been also doing a lot of awareness and training initiatives that has been working quite well. And now regarding the Grounding Action 2, the monitoring plan to do a RI tracker is expected for the second semester. We have already started thinking about it, but I think it's quite challenging. So we're going to start with a really, a simple mechanism, and then in the next year, just working harder. It's true that in our roadmap, it's a data management plan, and it's also related with the transparency law. And we will try to embed these two things to make it sustainable in the future. And then for the Grounding Action 3, it's about thinking about what we have been doing and to propose new actions for the future. We haven't started now, but we have to say that we have been working on it, and there are some proposals for the future now in the table. Regarding the Gender Equality Action Grant, as I tell you about the deadlines, we will be finishing the next 2 months, but it's the one that it's almost already done. We have also been doing a lot of training and awareness activities, both for Agaur and both externally. And we are planning to do one internally at the end of June and beginning of July about gender equality. And it's going to be really technical, really practical one. We're going to do 2 exercises, one about how to read a CV, and also another one about the wording of the call text, because, talking with the expert that is going to give this workshop, told us that the way a call is the wording of a call really pushes men or women to apply or not apply. So we are going to check all of this, because we thought that perhaps just talking about the gender balance and all that, it was too obvious. So that it will make people think about it. And also regarding gender equality, 3 new proposals came out, an institutional gender equality plan. It was already in our initial roadmap, but it was going to be done in the 3 and 5 year, the midterm, but we're going to start working on it at the end of this year. We have already started working on an internal protocol of prevention, the detection, action, resolution, and discrimination of situations. It has already started, but it will be finished after the GRACE project. And also a new measure, it's the implementation of protection measures of students who are victims of gender-based violence, of the children of gender-based violence, in order to make their names, they are going to be anonymized, and some of the measures. And we are already working on it. We started 2 months ago, and we want to implement these measures in the next academic year, 2021-2022. The open access, we are still working on the guidelines. and we have already do some trainings and awareness measures. We have to say that some of the new measures that we have already included in our new calls